Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible episode of Chat with Dan. Now, before we start, I just want to thank you so much for taking the time to checking this out. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow, it helps a lot, and again, thank you. Have an incredible day or evening, depending where you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Welcome back, everyone, to another incredible super episode of Chat with Dan. For today, we have on the show the superstar, the badass, the amazing, the legend. Randy, how are you today?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
Fantastic. What better way to continue to have an epic, fantastic day and an epic start than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've only been called badass maybe 3 times in my life, and this is one of those 3 times, so hooray. I
Well, you
love
bet.
that.
You better get ready because I'm gonna call you badass a few times here, so you better get ready.
Great, that's
Um,
really good for my ego.
there you go. I love it. Now, for those who don't know who is incredible, amazing, legendary, badass, Randy, please tell us who you are.
I am a actor. My name is Randi-Lee Leonard. I'm an actor, producer, and sometimes writer. I have written 2 shorts that have gone to picture, and one's in editing right now, so I guess I can now officially call myself a writer/screenwriter.
I love it.
Mainly focusing on acting, though.
So you're basically doing everything.
Basically, yeah, I've been told a lot throughout my career that if nobody's putting me in stuff, I need to put myself in stuff. So that's what I started doing. So now
There
I'm
you
putting
go.
myself in what I want to be in,
I love
telling
it.
my stories.
I love it. Now, before we start with this episode, I want to thank those who are watching this or listening to this. Thank you so much. It means a lot. If this is your first episode, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. If this is your fifth one, sixth one, make sure to keep watching. That means a lot as well. And spread them, share the word here. And starting with the interview now, tell me where the journey began. What make you want to start this career?
Oof, I'm gonna try and keep this short because I have a tendency to talk a really long time on this
Okay,
question
okay, it's okay.
whenever anybody
All right.
asks me it. But I'm pretty sure I started when I could walk or talk. I'm pretty sure that's how it went. I just remember doing, sketches and filming everything that I could, making video projects and camcorder projects as like presents for my family and my mom and my dad as kids can. You can't really afford fun other presents that you can buy. So
Yeah,
I would just
absolutely.
take the camcorder and I'd record like little songs or little poems or like little videos. And when I could in school, I started taking the editing projects or editing classes, and I put together little fun things for my sisters for theirs. So I think I've been doing it my entire life. And then I think it was maybe like 11 years old when we moved to Thunder Bay, Ontario, and I started taking my first real life community theater drama classes. And then it kind of really took off from there. And I started doing a lot of community theater. And just really taking classes. And then I went to a high school in Thunder Bay that really focused on the arts and acting and drama. So it was very cool to be able to really delve deep into there. And it's just continued ever since. And then I moved back to Vancouver 10 years ago now and really went into film and TV. But I think I have journal entries from when I was about 6 or 7 years old when I could like actually write as a kid, that are just exclaiming how much I want to be an actor and how much
Yeah.
I really want to be on the shows that were around and really influencing my life at that time. So I think it's something that I've always wanted to do, and nothing's really ever stuck with me as much as this has.
Fantastic. And what were some of the challenges that you had when you were recently making those first steps into a more professional career?
Oh boy. I think I've been really, really lucky. And when I started to kind of do this as a professional career,
Hmm.
I did go to a film and TV school. Like I did a certificate for 1 year. That really just showed me how to be on film and what angles were, what the professionalism on set is going to be like. But I lately I've been really doing a lot of indie community TV and film. And I've been really, really lucky in that. I think one of the most challenging things of being an actor, especially right now, is that there's such a business to it. You can no longer kind of just be an actor and be a creative. You have to, there's a business side to it, there's a social media side of it. There's all of these things that you have to put together in one career as you're starting out that you have to do for yourself. And I think that can be really tough to just be a creative and lean into a character when you're trying to manage 5,000 other parts of your life and your career at the same time.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's really learning how to put that business side of it to the side and just really focus on and being in your character and being present when you're on set or you're auditioning or anything like that.
Absolutely. Wow, I love it. And focusing a little bit on your acting career, tell me how you
Yeah.
prepare a character. Of course, I understand that depends on the role, but what is your initial approach before, diving into this whole process?
Oof. I mean, it's honestly, it's so different for each medium. So, like, it's different if it's an audition for a play. It's different if it's an audition for an indie. If for a TV show, for if it's for a movie.
Yeah.
The very first things I'll usually do if it's an audition for a film or TV or indie or anything like that, something that's going to be on camera, is I'll just like thoroughly go through the breakdown, figure out what they want from the character, how the character relates to the other characters that are in there if it's available to us, what and then I'll go through and I'll try and sort of watch clips if I have access to anything else that the writers, producers, directors have done before I even read the sides. I just want to make sure that I'm not going into a Hallmark audition with like an HBO character. I
Yeah,
need to know
absolutely.
what the vibe is going to
Yeah, of course,
be,
of course.
so that I can really feel out how I want to approach this character, because I don't want to read the sides in a certain way
Mm,
and then have to switch that vibe uh, kind of randomly. So I'll usually go through and I'll do all of the work on what I know the feeling of the film is going to be, and then I'll go through and I'll read the script and just suss out the feeling of it. So what the character is going through in those moments, how I would feel in the moments that I'm saying those things. If I'm saying screw you to somebody, how am I saying that? Is it going to be something that I'm saying funny? Is it something
yeah.
that's really going to be a hard thing to say out loud? And really just figure out the feeling of that character. And then if I have access to the full script, like if something that I've been cast in and I'm going in to film on the day, I'll make sure that I like read the entire script and just feel out where the character sits in the story, because at the end of the day, all I'm there to do is serve the story, and make sure that my character and how it's prepared and how she's kind of running through is serving the longer piece of the story.
Mhm, mhm.
And I think like writers are so fantastic in that way, and that they kind of like they write everything with feeling. They're very intuitive when they're writing a script, and I think it's incredibly important as an actor to be able to serve their work in a way that is important and serves the longer range of the story.
Absolutely. And like, has it ever
Yeah.
happened to you that during this whole process there was this character that took you, yeah, like took you the most, like let's say that you got stuck. Now, if it has happened that to you, how you managed to overcome a situation to keep moving forward?
Oof, yeah. I mean, I've been again really lucky that I've been able to kind of delve into some really classical texts, like we're
Yeah.
talking like Shakespeare and so on. One of my very early sort of community theater, was I did the play Antigone, and, so I played the sister Ismene, and I don't know if you know the story, but, Antigone and Ismene are the daughters of Oedipus,
Mm,
and it's a very difficult text to get into, and not only difficult text, but it's also difficult character-wise,
yeah.
especially playing the sister who has to kind of work out how she's dealing with the situation, dealing with her sister, dealing with her father, and the discovery and emotions within that. Um, so just really knowing the story and really knowing the text was so important in order to allow myself to be different each time and just allow myself in support and discovery of that character, um, to be there. So I think just really, really knowing the text and the story was the most important part for me.
Absolutely. Wow, that's amazing. And also, I love whenever like on a film, TV show, whenever I mean, you can tell, right? Whenever the actor or the actress put like that extra effort to make the character as believable and relatable as possible. I mean, and I love when they do that because you actually care of it, regardless of what type of show or like film it is. You actually care from that character as it was someone really close to you, and I find that really amazing when you get like that connection. So
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's one of those things is that when you watch something, you know when it's serious. Every actor knows that what they're doing is very serious to them. Whether it's comedy, comedy is one of the hardest things in the world to do
Yeah.
because it has to be very serious to the person who's doing it in order for it to be funny for the audience. If the if the person playing it, if the actor, if the character is thinking and playing it as funny, it's not as funny as the audience to watch. So it really does like you really just have to be in it and be in
Mhm.
discovery the entire time that you're there, which just relates to everything that's around you. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's great. It's so fun.
Yeah, absolutely. And also like the whole variety, right? I mean, you get the chance to play so many type of roles and everything, and also
Yes.
that's amazing. I love it. Now, let's say that one day I call you and I tell you that I want to become an actor. Now, I don't have any experience at all. So, based on what you know, what would you think would be important for me to know before jumping into this career?
It's hard. Just taking
Okay.
out the business side of it, taking out what you need to know in terms of how to run your career, how to business your way through this
Yeah, of course,
industry.
of course.
It's hard to be an actor. Being an actor is portraying humanity. That's all
Mm,
it is. When you break it down to its simplest terms,
yeah.
acting is being human. I think it was Anthony Mindell who first said that, or I read that in one of his books somewhere. But acting is just being human. All of the characters that we love so much are just because they're being human. So if if I were to give advice to anybody, start with classes, take a month's worth of classes. If you like it, take another month's worth of classes. If you still like it, take another month's worth of classes. Give
Okay.
yourself a couple of months to really feel it out, really understand this kind of like rainbow of human emotions that you have to go through when you're putting together a character, when you're delving into their feeling. And then once you figure it out, keep taking classes. Don't ever stop doing that. I know it's expensive and I know it's
Yeah.
hard. And if you can't afford classes, find a group of people that you can just read scripts with, do table reads, watch people on the bus, watch people in the park. Um, Figure out what it means to be human because as a society we build all these walls up and we are prone to be who other people want us to be. And as
Yeah.
actors, you really have to strip that all away and you have to be as human as possible. Um, so make sure you love it, make sure you know it. And if you want to do it, then yeah, figure out, then your next step is to figure out the business of it and understand how to run your own career. Cause from the beginning, you're not really going to have anybody doing that for you. And you may get an agent right away, but your agent is not there to run your career. They're there to help you along the way. It's a partnership. So you have to figure out the business side of it too. But first of all, make sure you love
There you go. I love it. Now, I'll make sure that if I ever become an actor, once I win my award for best actor, I'll be mentioning you in my thank you speech.
it.
Count on
You
it.
better.
I will.
I'll thank
Count
you
on it.
too. Don't worry.
I love it. I mean, we will even share a trophy. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay. We'll just split it down the middle. You can have half and I'll have the other half, or we can like do a
Exactly.
weekly trade off.
There you
Whatever.
go.
We'll figure it out.
There you go. I love it. Now, tell me yeah, like during your whole acting career at the moment, what has been some of the worst or funniest auditions you ever had?
I don't actually think I've had any bad auditions.
Okay.
I definitely know auditions where I've not been as dropped in as I should be.
Yeah.
Um, Nerves have definitely taken over when I'm working with a casting director that's like really highly sought after, or if it's like a 5-page role that I don't feel like I'm prepared enough for. Um, but some of the funniest and most fun auditions I have ever had are the ones where they cast a real life person.
Mm,
Commercials where they'll cast a real life person, so like a real life like a woodworker or a vet or a doctor or something like that. And then they'll bring in actors to be kind of like their assistants. Because you go into the audition and the real life people are just there to be there
yeah.
and they have so much fun. They have nothing to lose. So they just have so much fun playing with you. And the casting directors are just shouting like 6, 7, 8 different things, prompts at the same time to you. And you're just running around trying to figure it out in the
Mm,
moment. And then you leave the room and you've got all of this energy all around you. And you're like, I have no idea how that went, but it was fun and I
mm,
loved it. And I really just I think those are the most fun things that you can possibly do. And just to have fun in any audition is great. Like I think I'm really lucky that I really like auditioning. That I think is just a really good way of honing into a character
yeah.
or like that is my job, is the audition is my job, so anytime I get to audition, I just feel really lucky about it. So yeah, those are definitely my favorite ones is when I get to work with kind of real life people and everybody in the room just has so much fun.
Yeah, like absolutely. And like how you managed, so you did audition, how you managed to kind of yeah, forget what happened in the moment so you can continue on your day. Because I mean I understand that sometimes you will have like second thoughts, right? Like so it
Mhm,
can happen that every now and then you will say I could have done this instead of that, or I should have wear this instead of that. Like how you manage to
mhm.
silence those thoughts and to keep moving forward along your day.
Oof, that's a tough question. I think I've only really, I think, had 1 or 2 that I feel like I've really carried with me for a really, really long time.
Okay.
I think one was for a pilot where I just really it was a comedy and I just, like, really loved the story. I remember reading the script, and when the end of the episode came, the pilot episode came, um, I was like, and I just laughed, I think, for an hour about it. It was really well written, the character was really funny and really strong and just really amazing. And she was a really hard one to let go of.
Mm,
Um, but I think, I go from show to show, audition to audition. So if I carried each character and audition with me each time, I think I would I think I would lose my mind. I really would. So I really just have to forget. I have to just be in the moment and be present with what is happening in each audition.
mm.
And then when I get out of it, I can't second guess what I've done. Um, and I don't know how I do it. I think I just kind of like I block it out. If there's one that I'm having a really hard time with, I'll get on my yoga mat and I'll listen to a meditation and I'll just kind of like breathe through it. If I am getting really overwhelmed, I'll just let myself cry it out because there's no point in me bottling that up. And usually when I cry it out, I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
it was bad, it was bad. I'm gonna get another chance at some point.
there you
So
go.
that's a really which I think is a really good lesson for actors to remember is that you might not have nobody's gonna blacklist you. It doesn't really exist unless you're a really horrible person to work with.
Yeah,
Having one bad aud
of course.
having one bad audition is not gonna blacklist you from being in the room again with that casting director. They always want to find the person who is right for that role, and they're always wanting it to be you. So, the more you can let the auditions that don't feel right go, the more likely you are to feel better the next time you do them.
There you go. Preach. I love it. Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I mean, nobody likes being rejected, right? So I can understand how challenging, and especially at first, when you are getting, yeah, when you get rejected, how to maintain like a healthy mindset and be like, it
Mhm.
happens, it was meant to be, then move to the next one. And I can understand that along the way, you need to also start to work out on having like a tough skin, right? To let that, to whenever you have like those type of situations, just to slide and keep moving forward.
Yeah, I think, Andrew McElroy, who's a really amazing instructor in town here in Vancouver, he I did a workshop with him a number of years ago, and one of his first statements to our entire class was, um, "Let your ego go," because
There you go.
your ego doesn't serve you, it doesn't serve the character, and it doesn't serve the story. So I think once you realize that sometimes it's just not about you. Sometimes it just doesn't work out. It's a lot easier to deal with the rejection on that. And
Mm,
then if you're called back again, great, fabulous. Then it really wasn't about you.
yeah.
So I think it's really hard. I think a lot of people who aren't actors think that actors have a really big ego when the reality is we have very small egos because we have to let it go.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, your ego. So it's like someone once told me that your ego is your worst enemy.
Mhm.
It's the worst. I
Yeah.
mean, like, don't ever follow what your ego says because otherwise you're gonna, yeah, no, just don't do it.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. Your ego is your worst enemy.
Yeah,
That's that's it.
yeah. That's it, basically, right? Now, moving on here, like, what is your goal here? I mean, whenever you are about to approach to a character and play it, what is the goal that you want to achieve for us, the audience, to notice or realize?
What is my goal with every character? My goal with every character is just to make sure that they're serving the story, that they're authentically telling their truth in the moment.
Mm,
Because that's all I'm trying to do is as a human being when I walk through life is just
yeah,
authentically tell my story as much as I can. And I think every character that I play, I try and bring that to them. Um, yeah.
there you go. I
That's
love.
I think it's pretty simple on that.
Yeah, it's simple but cool. I love it.
Thanks.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Now, let's say that one day, HBO Max, Disney Plus, Netflix, you name it, they call you and they tell you that they have this idea, which goes that they're gonna make a film in which all of the characters you have played at the moment, all of them, they're gonna gather to celebrate your birthday. But the film needs a name. So how would you call it?
Oh my goodness. So I just recently watched, I think it was on either on TikTok or Instagram Reels. Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. Fantastic. Loved them growing up. I've seen every one of their movies. At the end of their last, film, I think it was The Challenge, they had all of their previous boyfriends from their previous films and TVs come in, and they were all kind of like, "What's happening here? Why are you kissing another boy?" And it was a
Mm,
very, like, sort of interspace thing. I don't there's a word for it and I can't think of it right now. Like a breaking the fourth wall type deal.
interesting.
And
Okay.
that kind of it was a very funny moment. And I remember watching it when I first watched the challenge because, I'm a millennial girl and I loved Mary Kate and Ashley Olsen. So I
Yeah, okay.
remember I
Okay.
remember watching it when it happened and just laughing at it. And then it brought up so many memories of me now. And I think for some reason in my head, because it was on a beach and it was on holiday, I was like, there is a lot of truth that comes out when you're on vacation or on holiday. There's just something about being away from your like little
Mm,
sphere when you're at home where just an honesty and a truth comes out. And I really honestly believe that every character I've ever played would be friends with each other. They would be, I don't know if they would be immediate besties, but they would be definitely friends in some way. So I think it would be something like Learning on Holiday or something like that. I know that's a pretty silly title, but I feel
mm,
like it would be something like that.
mm. So we're
Or Learning
talking.
and Loving on Holiday.
So we're talking about a holiday film.
Yeah, or
Mm,
like something outside of the sphere of being at home. Something where they can all leave behind what they're dealing with and just, like
yeah.
a Martha's Vineyard kind of getaway.
Mm. Let's include HBO and Hallmark. Let's put them together. That will be interesting to see. Like like a production between those two. That would be interesting.
That would be hilarious, I would love that. That's kinda like Lifetime, though. Like,
Yeah.
Lifetime does a lot very similar to Hallmark, but, they're a little bit grittier, I think,
Mm.
slightly. Not quite HBO gritty, but
Okay. Who knows? We might have an incredible idea here. Who knows?
yeah, there you go. Reach out, we're free.
I'm gonna make sure to tag Netflix, HBO, Disney a lot. Count on
Somebody
it.
wants to see this, even if it's like, somebody wants to see this.
Yeah. I mean, I want to see it. It sounds interesting.
I love that. I love
There you
that.
go. There you go. Now, what about describing your whole career, but on a drink?
On a
How
drink.
how how would you call it, and what would it have?
Ooh. Oh gosh, this is gonna be so basic. Water, probably? It's
Hmm.
my
Okay.
entire career has been super fluid, super nourishing for me and my soul,
Mm.
and my heart and my body. I quit my job last year, my like 9 to 5 corporate job last year, just to go full time into the arts. And I found since I've done that, it's been incredible for my heart. Um, and water is very good for your body and your soul and your mind that you do in life. But also, if we think of like water in the ocean, it's sometimes tough and it's unpredictable and it will swallow you whole if you let it. So, I think water is a very good descriptor of what my career has been
Yeah.
like from
Yeah.
start to now.
Yeah. Totally. I've been almost drowned in the ocean a couple of times, and I know what you mean.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sorry you went through that, but I'm glad you're here.
Yeah. I mean, I was back then teenager. You know, you don't see the risk on anything. So
No, it's so true.
Yeah, but anyway, that is a pretty cool analogy. I like that. I'll take it.
Okay, good. I'm glad
And
because I
like,
can't think of anything else.
yeah, yeah, but okay, so but how would you? Let's say I want to. Yeah, yeah. So let's say that we make it into a brand, right? How would you call the bottle? Like, what would be the name on the bottle?
Fluid,
Interesting.
fluid water.
With water. We might have another idea here. I mean, we're
Yeah.
killing it here. Incredible.
Yeah. Who needs to like win an award? We'll just buy one with
Fluid.
all of the money we're gonna make on our Netflix special and our fluid water.
You got it.
Sponsored by Fluid Water.
There you go. I love it. Now, what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit, right? So how you manage to silence those toxic, yeah, like those toxic thoughts and to be back again on this road that you have been in for so many years now?
Um, oh, I have I have 2 sort of things that really motivate me and push me forward. Um, One is that sometimes I'll go back and I'll read all of my little journals, and when I push myself onto a path where I'm like, "This doesn't feel right," I'll remember that little me wanted this for
Mm,
current me. This is all little me has ever wanted, and it looks different than what I thought it would look like when I was like 7 or 8 years old, but it feels better than anything I've ever done.
mm,
So that's really motivating for me. And the other thing is I have a card. I lost my dad 10 years ago, 11 years
no.
ago now. And I have a card from him that says, I believe in everything you do. And anytime I feel like I'm in a different sphere that I should be in, or something that's not feeling like it's right for what I'm doing, I'll just open that card and I'll read it and just remember that he believes in everything that I do, so I believe in everything that I do. So those are my big
Wow.
motivators, is that I'm doing it for me and I'm doing it for my dad.
I don't know what to say. I'm speechless. That's wow. It's yeah, and yeah, I don't know what to say. Dang it.
Sorry,
No,
sorry
no,
about
no, no,
that.
no. Yeah, no, I mean, it's okay, it's okay. I mean, it happens every now and then, so but, yeah, I mean, the fact that you manage to kind of yeah, like the fact that you managed to kind of transform, from the situation from your father and to put it into a positive vibe to push you so you can keep moving forward. I mean, that's incredible. I mean, it's yeah, it's like badass plus 50. I don't know. I mean, it's like a total different of badass here. That like how you manage to to overcome that very hard situation and to transform that into something positive, something that kind of fills you up whenever you kind of feel empty or like I don't know where to go to be back again
Yeah,
and like pushes you. That's amazing. Props on
it
you.
really does fill my cup, and, I won't lie, this has taken a lot of time and a lot of therapy to get to this point,
Yeah, of course,
but
absolutely.
really just having that in his own handwriting and just knowing, you know, just being able to see that writing and feel it in my heart makes it a lot easier to fill my cup
Yeah,
up, for
yeah.
sure.
I mean, and like the fact that you mentioned that it took therapy, absolutely. I mean, those type of situations are super hard, and like
Mhm.
not so many people sometimes can actually kind of get up, kind of be back again after have to deal with something like that. So so yeah, I'm super impressed and super amazed on how of with time managed to be where you are right now, and yeah, it's amazing.
Well, thank you.
That's yeah. That's like on my top of badass people in the world right now, let me just tell you. I love it. Now
Made the top of somebody's list.
absolutely. Now, my last question here, what can we expect from you in the future? Hit it.
Oh, I have so many things coming out soon. So I currently we're in post-production editing phase of a film that I produced and wrote. It's called The Statement. You can look it up on IMDb. Our incredible editor, Sierra Wilson Fur, was also our director, and she was absolutely fantastic on that and really brought some serious character work out of everybody that was on set. It's a really badass film that was based on Jacinda Ardern and Sanna. I'm gonna say her name wrong, Marin, who's the Prime Minister of Finland,
No.
and it's based on The Prime Minister of Finland's life being under scrutiny for being a human, but also being a woman in leadership. And the press conference that they did where they were asked by a reporter whether they were meeting because they were young and had similar interests or whether or not they were, and they had to say, no, we're leading because we're leaders of countries. So that should be coming out sometimes in spring. Um, so that it'll be on festival release, but we're hoping for a wide release end of the year, beginning of next year, which should be super fun and super badass for everybody to be watching. I have a showcase coming up on Wednesday, which I think we're filled for. So everybody can just imagine how amazing I'm going to be there. And then I have two student films that I was in last year and the beginning of this year that should be coming out within the next couple of months. We have the Run and Gun Film Festival for Vancouver coming up. We start putting everything together mid-April. Um, and that should be running in June. And then I am also serving as producer on a film, which well, I'm not really serving as producer anymore. I've switched to the art department on that, so
Yeah.
that should be super fun. That should be coming out. It's a full length feature, so that should be coming out probably end of the year, depending on when post production schedule is for on that. So I've got a very busy few months coming up, and then of course any other projects that hopefully will be coming forward soon. We'll see. I've done a lot of auditions the last couple of weeks, so we'll see what comes out of those.
Wow. Wow. I mean, I
Yeah.
will just drop this.
We get busy. I've been really, really lucky that I've spent a lot of time in Vancouver in the indie film community, working with some really amazing people, um, in the festivals, the Women in Film and Television
Yeah.
festivals, the, Run and Gun, like I said, film festival on their falls, which I won't swear, it's called SNG. You can find it on Instagram. Um, but they're really amazing festivals. Joel and Sasha are so fantastic. They just allow people to be creative, as creative as possible, and they try and really encourage new filmmakers to get out there and just have fun and make cool stuff, which is really amazing. So if you can catch some of their stuff on YouTube when they put it up, if you're not able to go to the festivals, I would really encourage that. It shows some really amazing Vancouver filmmakers.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah,
I mean, you are doing everything. I mean, and
I
like,
try.
and it's a, but you know what? You're doing it, and you're actually showing that it's possible, and you're making. I mean, it's incredible, and also like I'm super sure that our next conversation is gonna be about the thousands upon thousands projects you have been in, because as I said, like the fact that you are doing it because you like it, but also that you decided to quit, a regular 9 to 5 and
Mm,
move to like something that you like. Of course, that it's scary and challenging, but hey, you're making it happen, and that's incredible. I
thank you.
mean that is why I was saying that it's on the top of badass people I ever met, because like no matter how yeah, like you just keep moving forward, and that's incredible. As I said before, the fact that you have come along this way and how to deal with some, of course, bad moments here and there, but you keep moving. I mean, but you keep pushing. I mean, that shows everyone that dreams are possible, and you are showing that and you are showing that. That's incredible. All of it.
Thank you. Yeah, like not every day is going to be 150%, but
Absolutely.
I think anybody in any career would say that not every day is going to be 150%. But
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, the days that are good are so much better than the good days in any other career that I've tried to be in. So
Mm,
I love what I do. I love being in this industry despite how difficult it is, but it changes every day and it's such a fantastic place to be in. And I wouldn't change the trajectory of the career that I've had so far. And I'm super excited to see what my future is going to hold.
there you go. And I mean, yeah, it's amazing, Randy. Keep inspiring, keep creating. I also want to thank those who watch this. Thank you so much. If you are watching this on YouTube or listening on Spotify, Apple Podcast, Amazon, and Google Music too, I think. Make sure to go follow Randy like right now. Under the description below, you're gonna follow her Instagram link so you can follow her. Check on her work. I mean, she's amazing. We'll know that right now. I mean, she's badass, beyond amazing. She's like super badass. And again, Randy, thank you so much for making this happen. Keep creating, keep inspiring. Have an incredible upcoming week, and I'll see you in
Thank
the
you,
next one.
you too. And thank you so much for having me. I really had so much fun. And everybody go listen to every episode of the podcast because it's amazing and it's so great to learn from other creatives. So
I love it. Thank you. All right.
fantastic.